Alright, so I'm making this video to just speak of a few things that I've underlined in Matthew, and we'll start at Matthew 4:7. Jesus answered him, "It is also written, do not put the Lord your God to the test." So yes, he is powerful, he can save you, but it says here, do not put the Lord your God to the test. Don't jump off a cliff and be like, oh, he's gonna save me, blah blah blah. Do not put him to the test. Matthew 4:10. Jesus said to him, "Away from me, Satan, for it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only." You can't worship two things at once. You can't worship your money and God. You can't worship food or lust or anything else. Only God. Okay. Just a quick brief through of a couple things I've underlined. Right, Matthew 5:22. But I tell you that anyone who's angry with a brother or sister will be subject to judgment. And so the context or the pretext of that is Matthew 5:21. You have heard that it was said to the people long ago, you shall not murder, and anyone who murders will be subject to judgment. But then 22. But I tell you that anyone who's angry with a brother or sister will be subject to judgment. And so that you have got to forgive others. You can't hold on to revenge feeling or bitterness. Matthew 5:25. Settle matters quickly with your adversary who's taking you to court. So you need to forgive as soon as possible. 26. Truly I tell you, you will not get out until you have paid the last penny. And so the pretext of that is settle matters quickly with your adversary who's taking you to court. Do it while you're still together on the way, or your adversary may hand you over to the judge, and the judge may hand you over to the officer, and you'll be thrown into prison. So true I tell you, will not get out until you paid the last penny. So you need to forgive before it is too late, and you're going to be paying the price for it. And it says here, Matthew 5:27. You have heard that it said, you shall not commit adultery, but I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If it is your right eye that causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. And so, even the little things that we don't think are sin, and you will be judged for it. Alright. And it says, Matthew 5:38. You have heard that it was said, eye for eye and tooth for tooth, but I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other cheek also. 42. Give to the one who asks you, and do not turn away from the one who wants to borrow from you. 44. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. So let's go back to 38. You have heard that it was said, eye for eye and tooth for tooth, but I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other cheek also. So do not be seeking for revenge, for it will be fulfilled by you later on. And so you should not personally be seeking for the revenge. Alright, Matthew 6:6. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And when you pray, do not keep on babbling like pagans, for they think they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask Him. And so, that first part that there is, so basically, don't be a hypocrite. Don't go out and pretend like you're following Christ and you're following God out in public. But when you get home, be a lazy slob who just sits there and watches TV and doesn't even think about God or Jesus the rest of the day. All right, don't do that. And the second part, I have trouble with myself. When you pray, just keep on babbling. I really haven't gotten past that part myself, so I can't go further on into that. And he says here, Matthew 6:9, this then is how you should pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Yours will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but to deliver us from the evil one. Alright, so Matthew 6:16, when you fast, do not look somber. But when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that it will not be obvious to others that you are fasting. And so I once heard this one guy, he's famous. If you saw the same clip I did, you know what I'm talking about. But he says, even when he is sick, he does not put on a sick face. He is masculine enough to hide it to the point where no one will even know when he is sick or if he is sick when he is. And he is Christian, so I believe that's kind of where it came from. Right there, and I'll repeat it. When you fast, do not look somber, but when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that it will not be obvious to others that you are fasting. Right? Matthew 6:24. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Matthew 6:27. Can any one of you by worrying add a single hour to your life? So no you can't. So don't worry. Just have faith. Alright, it says Matthew 6:33, but seek first his kingdom and his righteousness. Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Matthew 7, do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. Matthew 7:7, ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be open for you. And so I was just watching a video earlier about how to be filled with the Holy Spirit, and here it is. This is the same quote that the video person was making. Ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be open to you. If you pray about it, pray for God your Father to give you and fill you up with the Holy Spirit, and you seek it, it will be answered. Matthew 8:21. But only the one who does not, who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. So you need to do the will of the Father. And the end part there on 23. I never knew you. Away from me, you evildoers. And so I'm sure you've heard that quote online already. If you are a Christian follower, where at the end of your judgment time, Jesus will say, I never knew you, away from me. Right? The wise and the foolish builders. Matthew 8:24. Therefore, It was 7:24 and 7:21. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. And so I think that'll be good enough for this video. Just kind of put those things into your mind. Maybe go in there and highlight or underline them yourself. Think about them, pray on them. Whatever you want to do, whatever you need to do.